Windows 8 is failing, and it's your fault. I'll explain why in just a moment. So, this Christmas holiday season was not the best in the world for Microsoft, the sales of Windows 8, or PC manufacturers. Now, according to a recent report done by the NPD Group, Windows Notebook holiday sales dropped over 10.5% in the holiday period. Think about that. That's a really significant drop. Touchscreen notebooks, why, they only made up 4.5% of Windows sales, with an average sales price of $700. And Windows notebooks, under around the $400 range, those fell by 16%. The question is why? Well, PC manufacturers blame Microsoft because of the lackluster general appeal of Windows 8 on a non-touchscreen based PC, and Microsoft blames the PC makers for a lack of a great product lineup at the launch of Windows 8. But guess what? The blame is shifting to you, the consumer, and here's the reason why. It's netbooks and notebooks and these sub $400 plastic pieces of crap computers that people have bought by the millions over the last 3 or 4 years. Microsoft sold over 20 million licenses a month of Windows 7, the bulk of which ended up on the very same plastic, cheap-made $400 computers I'm talking about. The simple fact of the matter is that with an average sales price of $700 or more for a touchscreen-based notebook is just not in the market for most people. It's simply out of your price range. You're not willing to pay that kind of money. So the price has to come down. Now, Microsoft claimed that Windows 7 is, and it claims, and rightfully so, I think, it was a gold standard in Microsoft operating systems. But remember, most of those licenses ended up on those sub $400 notebooks we're talking about. Now, since only 4.5% of the Windows 8 PCs sold during the holiday period were touch-based, and probably almost 100% of all the upgrades, Windows 7 to Windows 8 upgrades, were on non-touch-based PCs, this tells us that most people aren't that terribly concerned about touch on a PC, on a laptop, or on a desktop machine. They are willing to spend the money on touch-based computers. They're called tablets. And we can see what's happening in the world of Android tablets. You can already buy a 7-inch Android tablet for under $100 today. And those prices will continue to fall. Apple's done very, very well with their $500 plus entry fee iPads. So you can kind of see that, yeah, there is a market for touch-based computers, but it's called smartphones and tablets. Not so much for PCs, notebooks, etc. The bottom line is that the NPD Group said, and this is a direct quote, that netbooks did incalculable amount of damage to the PC business. It got people used to and expecting a fully functional computer with Microsoft Windows for around $400 price range. And manufacturers say, you know what, we really can't do that very well at all today. So it's going to take time for those prices to come down. You, the consumer, are simply not willing to spend the money to get a higher quality touch-based PC. My opinion is that I think that Windows 7 should be the de facto standard operating system on those devices, and Windows 8 only shipped on touchscreen enabled notebooks, laptops, and all-in-one PCs. But I gotta tell you, I'm not a big fan of a touch-based all-in-one PC. As Steve Jobs mentioned, he mentioned a thing called Gorilla Arms, and quite frankly, I can't see myself doing this day in and day out all day long on a touch-based all-in-one. But that's my opinion. I'd like to hear from you. And we always appreciate it if you like our videos, if you share them, plus one them on Google, etc. We always appreciate it. I want to see your comments. What do you think? What should Microsoft do? What should the PC makers do? Are you willing to spend more money? on touch-based PC than $400. Let me know. I want to hear from you. Bruce Naylor, your Frugal Tech. I'll talk to you later.